So I was running pretty good in my game of poker last night, and I just decided to take out the camera and to take a video just to see what the result would be of it. At this point, I think I was up about $40 and a $20 buy-in, the blinds being 10 cents, 20 cents. So not a big game at all, but a whole lot of fun to play around with. The first interesting hand that I picked up here was King 2 of Hearts on my small blind. And the action actually just limped around to me with, I believe, 5 players other than myself. And I decided to defend my blind here and bump it up to 75 cents. And in the process, I got a couple of callers along the way. So the flop we go. The flop comes out Queen, 8, King, 2 spades. But we're feeling pretty good about top pair here. So we decide to lead out for $2. And Monk, the one looking at his cards right now, he is the only one that makes the call, and to the turn we go. It is a 4 of diamonds, good blank here, and I bet $5 sizing up a little bit, trying to get some draws to call. Also just value betting my king, and Monk thinks about it for a while, eventually comes to a call. To the river we go. It is a blank, a 6 of hearts. Now we are just value betting our king at $6 right here. Monk thinks about it for a little bit and then comes to the decision that a fold is the best thing for him to do. And then telling us a little bit later that he had second pair with a flush draw.
See, Monk, that was my first win on the vlog.
Really? I don't care.
On the very next hand, we pick up Ace 10 offsuit on the button. I decide to pop this one up to $1.25 into a limped pot. I get a couple of callers, and to the flop we go. It is 6-3-7 offsuit. Checks around to me, and I decide to see where I'm at here and bet $1.25. That's not getting Eric anywhere. That's the player to Monk's left, your right. And to the turn we go. It is the 2 of clubs, not a bluff card at all. However, I continue to do so with $4. Eric is not budging. He's not going anywhere. To the river we go. It is the king of spades, total blanks all around. And then Eric does something very interesting here. He looks extremely reluctant to bet and then bets $2. So that's telling me 2 things. Either 1, he's just Hollywooding it like crazy, or 2, he's trying to make a bet so I don't have to. So I come to a decision which probably is one of the worst ones here, just to min raise, bluffing into a $15 pot in which he just bet into. So that's what I do. I make the $4 raise. He calls, and I have nothing.
I don't have anything.
Who plays tomorrow night?
On to the next one. We pick up a premium. It's Ace King on the button, and the action limps around to me. I decide to pop this one up to $3. We get 2 callers, and to the flop we go. It is 6-7-5 rainbow, bricks and blanks all over, and it checks around to me, which should be good. But I'm playing with Will, who's generally speaking a pretty big bluffer and will check a lot of the time when he has something. And I'm also playing with Frank, who will almost only bet if you bet into him. So I check as well. To the turn we go. Here comes a jack. Shouldn't really change much. We all check to the river. And then there's the 9 of clubs. Checks all the way around to me. And I'm just trusting my instinct, playing the players here rather than trying to play the game. I check 2 and I show my cards.
I thought somebody was trying to walk me into something.
And I was right here. It was Will that had a 2 pair, Frank that had pocket 10s. Good job there, just realizing who I was playing with. But this next hand here gets pretty interesting. I'm under the gun and decide to straddle up to 50 cents. Everybody calls here, and then I pick up 5-6 of clubs and decide to bump this one up to $3.50, and in doing so, I get myself 2 callers. To the flop we go, and it is ace for 3, 2 hearts. We are open-ended with a backdoor club draw. Liking where I am here, I decide to bet half of pot, about $6, and then Eric is my only caller to the turn, which comes the 8 of clubs. I like to bet $4 here, size down a little bit, and then Eric actually min raises me to 8, which is a little bit confusing here, but I quickly make the call, go to the river, and here it comes. Here's the 9 of clubs. We have the flush. Now, how do I get paid? Pretty sure I want to go all in here, thinking Eric is pretty strong, min raising that $4, probably having an ace, maybe a 2 pair. So I go all in, and then he just tells me I'm good, throws his cards away, and tells me later that he just thought I was bluffing and was trying to get me out of there, which wasn't the worst move in the world for him, considering that I did that a few hands before. So we take down that $40 pot there, and feeling pretty good about that one. The next one comes Jack, 5 of hearts, and things start getting pretty good for me here, as I'm in middle position now, and it may have been myself, but I think it was actually Will that bumped this one up to $1.75, which I am calling, and I think there's 1 or 2 other callers than Will and myself. To the flop we go, and the flop comes Queen, 7, Jack, 2 hearts. We have the flush draw with second pair here. Will, being first to act, leads out for $3. Frank actually goes all in here for $7.30. We're obviously not going anywhere. We're calling the $7.30, and Will is staying as well. To the turn we go, and it is the ace of hearts. There is our flush. Will checks it over to us. I check it back, hoping that he can feel safe to bet here on the river. Probably not my best move, but it's what I did. And then the king of hearts comes out. We have the nuts. Will checks it to us. Unfortunately, I think he's giving up here. But I take my little stab and bet $10, which he snap folds to. And with the nuts, we take over this $28 pot. Once again in middle position, we pick up the worst hand in poker. It is 7 deuce, and it's even offsuit. Now, we do play the 2-7 game, to where if you win with 2-7 in any way, shape, or form, everybody at the table rewards you with an extra 50 cents, so I'm going to play it here. Will straddles this one up to 40 cents, which I'm making the call, as well as everybody else at the table, and Will ends up checking us to the flop. The flop comes 6, queen, ace, 2 clubs, and it checks to me, so I'm just going to bump this one up to $2, hopefully trying to get some folds, but Nick, the player to my left, calls the $2, as well as Jared, the player to his left. The turn comes the jack of spades. This board is no longer bluffable. I give up and start checking. Nick bets $3. Jared folds. Obviously, I'm not playing this one anymore. So I show the 7-2, and Nick has himself a little laugh, as well as a $10 pot. Out of position once again here, I pick up Jack, Queen of hearts. The action limps to me, and I raise this one to $2, getting either 3 or 4 callers in the process to the flop. And the flop comes out Jack, ace, 10, 2 spades. We do have second pair with the nut straight draw, but I'm thinking a lot of the time here somebody's holding an ace, and really I'm just drawing to another jack or obviously a king. So it's in my best interest to check this one over, which I do, and then Nick bets $1 here, inflating the pot a little bit and getting everybody to call to the turn, which comes the 4 of clubs. Doesn't change anything for me here, obviously I'm checking. Then Nick raises to $3 here, thinking I like to see a river. I make the call, as well as everybody else, and then the river comes the 8 of clubs. I really have nothing at this point here, so I'm just going to continue to check it on to Nick, who bets $5, and then Jared actually raises him to 10. getting the other player and myself out of there, and then Nick is going to make the call, and it turns out that Jared had a straight and Nick had trips.
He does have a straight, but that's not what I expected anybody to have. What do you have, Nick? I guess you don't have to show.
Very disguised hands there. Nick just got the shorter end of the stick this time. On the next somewhat interesting hand we pick up here, it is 6-7 into a limped pot, which the flop comes 7-4 queen, 2 diamonds, and Will starts the betting off here with just $1, and he gets either 3 or 4 callers out of us to the turn, which comes the 10 of clubs. Shouldn't really change anything overall, probably makes my hand a little worse, but for the good asking price of $2, courtesy of Will, I'm not going anywhere just yet. And then the river comes the 10 of spades. We do have a 2 pair, just not the one we wanted. So Will leads out for another bet here. I don't remember fully what it was, but we were folding to just about anything here. And there's 1 or 2 other callers, revealing at the end of it that there were a couple of other queens in play. On our last regular Holdem hand of the night here, I pick up ace-9 on the small blind. The action limps around to me, and for whatever reason, I'm getting a really good feeling about this hand. So I want to make a bet here that keeps just about everybody in and still makes that pot more valuable. So I go with a weirder sizing of 95 cents here.
95 cents.
What?
And it does just about that, as I think I have 4 callers to the flop. And the flop comes 2-9-5 rainbow. I have top, so I decide to lead out for a bet here of $4. Will is my only caller to the turn, which comes the king of spades. That shouldn't really change much here, but I like to check here to put myself in a better position to bet on the river as well as see where I'm at. Will checks back to me, and the river comes the king of diamonds. At this point, I think I'm well ahead. I just like to give a caller's bet to Will of $4, and then he thinks about it for a while and raises to $13. So I'm snap calling here. He was just bluffing. He's been running bad all night. I didn't believe him at all, and we get ourselves a pot of about $40. And every once in a while, we like to change things up a little bit. In this case, we did a hand of PLO, which is Pot Limit Omaha. It works the same as Holdem, except you get 4 cards and you're required to play 2, but you can only play 2. So these cards here barely even give me enough value to get to the flop, but it was a limped pot, and that's all I needed to see before I got myself out of there. So hopefully I'll have a better example in the future, but it was just a nice little indicator there to show that we do change things up a little bit. Like we do in this next hand, we are playing a double boarded bomb pot, which is the same thing as regular Holdem, except you're playing both boards separately, so you have the opportunity to win either one of 2 of the boards or both the boards. The ante to see the flop here is 50 cents automatically, and the flop on the first board comes ace 4 king, 2 diamonds, and on the second board it comes ace 6 5 2 spades. Now I'm holding king 8 of clubs, and I'm more than happy to check this one around and see a free turn, which comes the 9 of diamonds on the first board and the king of spades on the second board. So both flushes get there, but we are holding second pair on both boards. Eric leads out for $1 here, which doesn't get me anywhere, as well as 1 other player. To the river we go, and it comes the queen of hearts and the 9 of clubs. Eric, knowing that this is our last hand and with only about $4, chooses to go all in, and I'm going to call him here. I ask him if he has an ace. He says no. We have the king. We scoop both boards here, and we end up with $117 being in for 20 for a profit of $97.